ESBN.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Cyber, the Season 2 Draft League champ.
And I am Damage, the future Season 3 champ, and welcome back to ESBN.
So we understand there's been like a 2-week hiatus, but you can thank Boosin for that for releasing all of our writing monkeys right when we started working on the videos, so we couldn't get them done.
Our typewriter monkeys were getting paid and fed well, so blame Boozin for the long hiatus. But we're back with ESPN 2.5, and we're going to start with our plays of the season thus far.
So the first highlight of the week, we're going to go back to Shrug and Tease Him, Game 1. Okay, so they're having a solid game, it's getting real down to the wire, and everything's normal until you see this man throw out Whooper. And so Tease Him, completely off the walkie slush, surging strikes this Whooper and almost lets Shrug take the win. Now this guy's got like 0.75 accuracy on his surging strikes, like that could miss. He's also getting toxic stalled, like that was really close to just Shrug just completely winning that with Whooper, getting 2 kills almost.
Now Teasem's usually off the gi, but it was clear he was definitely off the walkie slush this game, letting Shrug have a real chance at winning it. But now, for our next strat of the week, we had Piloswine by Mao Fever. Now, this man Mao Fever led Piloswine and Rabombi. And if you don't know, Rabombi has speed swap, so instantly Piloswine got quick as hell, and Devo got cooked. The ice type was too much for him, and Leafeon got rolled quickly. And you gotta pour one out to the Mao Fever Goon Squad. Fever is struck, and they were in the chat roasting Devo to oblivion.
And also leave it to Mao to use his tier 4 to sweep, dude. I did not expect that, I'll be honest, but hey, maybe Mao is the dark horse this season, I don't know. So then I'll take you guys next to J-Dog versus Bingo week 1. Okay, it's starting off like a solid game, and then Bingo hits an ice beam that gets a freeze on J-Dog, and J-Dog's like, oh, okay, I might lose this game here. So he's got to pull out some crazy trick, and what does he do? He uses Perish Song on his Politoed and stalls out Bingo's last 2 mons and gets the kill. If that's not a crazy play, I don't know what is.
Forget the Politoed play. What about Zapdos in week 3? Dropped a 7k on Shrug. I don't know if that's the most kills we've ever seen in a given week, but Zapdos went off, and the weakness policy was a great tech by J-Dog.
And speaking of great tech, Mr. Damage yourself, dude, you did the trick eject button against Matty Ice. Now, you just knew he's going to go Colossal, I guess, but like, he had the double setup and everything, and you just said, nah, I'm going to eject button you out of here.
I mean, not to flex too hard, but I got Matty Ice to waste his Dynamax and send it packing to the bench all in the same turn. And I also got a weakness policy on my Grimmsnarl at the same time, so it was some heat I thought. It was some heat I cooked up.
So then moving on to some of the big transactions this week, Damage, what do you think?
I think there's been a lot of retooling for Robbie Rabs' team. You can see there's been a huge shift. He's dropped a lot of his Dragon types, which is an interesting play, and picked up some big sleepers, mainly Alolan Ninetales and Krookodile, which could really build his core for the future weeks.
And then another person who did some big transactions as well is Devo. Okay, now Devo has a really good team. I think his core is really good. The issue was I didn't think he had that much depth to his team. He had a lot of the same types, but he had a big Lucario pickup and a big Jolteon pickup that I think gives his team a lot more depth to work with, because he had a lot of fire type, and I think with making these changes, he has a lot more options to use.
Any team with Whimsicott and Lucario is a scary threat with justified boosts. Not to mention this is a similar team that Joel ran last season and got second place, so there's definitely some fear around Devo in the coming weeks.
Okay, so moving on to some big highlights of the week as well for the Pokemon. The KD leaders in Thundurus and Zapdos, it's kind of nice. Now, as much as it hurts for me to say, I gotta commend Thundurus. He had a big week against me with the 5 kills. It was that Defiant really was what pushed him over the edge, and he got so many KOs.
Yes, it's clear the electric flying type Pokemon are going off, but that's not to say that Rhyperior, Dracovish, Colossal, Metagross, a lot of other Pokemon are having a great season so far. Not to even mention Showtime Darmanitan, so it's clear there's some real competition for who's going to win KD this season. And our wonderful Commissioner J-Dog has tried to rival us with a Pokemon of the Week, so he has put Showtime, Shellshock, Alphonse Eric, Leorio, and soon-to-be Zapdos, I assume, on the Pokemon of the Week. So this is an interesting thing he's introduced, and I'm a big fan of it.
And also, as we said earlier, there was a Pokemon with like a record-breaking statistic on here. And so I gotta really give it to my man, Reggie Steele, Alphonse Elric, for being that Pokemon, to be that unstoppable and legendary, for just being that amazing. He really deserved that.
Okay, Cyber, let's stop gassing up our Pokemon win. I see Leorio right there, dropped to 3K. Let's slow down. Not to mention I have the kill leader right now, so I don't know if anyone really cares about Registeel that much. Just gonna be honest about it.
Well, I personally advocate for Shell Shock to be Pokemon of the Week. I mean, he is an absolute fucking tank with Trick Room and has 6 KOs so far, so he deserves to be Pokemon of the Week.
Wait, hold on. Who let the typewriter monkey back? And I thought Boost and freed all of them.
And for our final segment, we're gonna go over our personal power rankings. So first, we're gonna show the standings, and I'm at the top with 3-0 of course, but the power rankings say something otherwise. We actually have Joel as our first team in the power rankings.
Now, before you get upset with any of these rankings, I want you to know that we've had thousands of analysts working day and night to make sure that these are correct. So you can't really dispute these. These are factual.
This list also factored in our thousands of fan votes that we got submitted the past 3 weeks. So if you want to pick an argument, pick it with the fans, not us. We're just the messengers here.
So if you look really close, you'll notice that 1 and 9 both have a very distinct trait. And it's that they both don't have a logo. They both need to step up their game and get a logo because the rest of everyone else has a logo. And their teams look so much worse without a logo. Look at this, he's WCW and then you have Triple C. What is that?
So at the top of the rankings, we have a race to see who will stay undefeated longer. The Windy City Whimsicots and the Mauville City Manetrix. And at the bottom, we have a much more interesting race. The Trollers are Inside versus Aether Paradise Alcremies, who will get their first dub first.
So also, even though the Mossdeep City Metagross are 1 and 2, he did make playoffs last season, and also he lost to me and Damage. So I mean, not too bad of losses. So we're still gonna put him at 5 here. And also number 6, the Chicago White Swadloons. You know they're moving up. Okay, their power ranking is on the upward trend because they've been playing super well. And even against the Mossdeep City Metagross, they lost, but it was a best of 3, and they went to game 3.
Yes, Malfever is definitely hit, but not to take away from Shark's best of 3 with J-Dog. That was pretty critical to putting him above the Cerulean City Charizards and Roblox City Rotops in this list. And we definitely need to see how they perform this week against bigger opponents in Joel and Cyber respectively, as those will be 2 huge games for both of them. Thank you for tuning in to our ESBN Week 2.5 video. Now we will surely get back on schedule, hopefully with weekly updates in the future, but thank you for tuning in.
Wacky Slush.